Good morning, girls. Happy Thursday. It's been a wild morning around here. We're getting ready to go to the vet, and I've had accidents and things chewed up, and it's been a drama-filled morning already, and it's only, 8, 9, 8:30. Come here, Winnie Beans. Come here. No, just go ahead and stand there and stare at me like I'm not talking. Come here. Come. Well, I'm here. I'm here for devotions. Don't know if I'm going to get to read my book today, but I'll at least get to read the word. All right, we're on January 29th. Elihu reminds Job of God's justice. Job 35:1 through 36:21. Then Elihu said, "Do you think it is right for you to claim, 'I am righteous before God'? For you ask, 'What's in it for me? What's the use of living a righteous life?' I will answer you, and all of your friends too. Look up into the sky and see the clouds high above you. If you sin, how does that affect God? Even if you sin again and again, what effect will it have on Him? If you are good, is this some great gift to Him? What could you possibly give Him? No, your sins affect only people like yourself, and your deeds also affect only humans. People cry out when they are oppressed. They groan beneath the power of the mighty, yet they don't ask, 'Where is God my Creator, the one who gives songs in the night? Where is the one who makes us smarter than the animals and wiser than the birds of the sky?' And when they cry out, God does not answer because of their pride." Winnie! Winnie! You come here. But it is wrong to say God doesn't listen. But to say the Almighty isn't But it is wrong to say God doesn't listen. To say the Almighty isn't concerned. You say you can't see Him, but He will bring justice if you will only wait. You say He does not respond to sinners with anger and is not greatly concerned about wickedness. But you are talking nonsense, Job. You have spoken like a fool. Elihu continued to speak. Let me go on, and I will show you the truth, for I have not finished defending God. I will present profound arguments for the righteousness of my Creator. I am telling you nothing but the truth, for I am a man of great knowledge. God is mighty, but He does not despise anyone. He is mighty in both power and understanding. He does not let the wicked live, but gives justice to the afflicted. He never takes His eyes off the innocent, but He sets them on thrones with kings and exalts them forever. If they are bound in chains and caught up in a web of trouble, He shows them reason. He shows them their sin of pride. He gets their attention and commands that they turn from evil. If they listen and obey God, they will be blessed with prosperity throughout their lives. All their years will be pleasant. But if they refuse to listen to Him, they will cross over the river of death, dying from lack of understanding. For the godless are full of resentment. Even when He punishes them, they refuse to cry out to Him for help. They die when they are wrong, after wasting their lives in immoral living. But by means of their suffering, He rescues those who suffer, for He gets their attention through adversity. God is leading you away from danger, Job, to a place free from distress. He is setting your table with the best food, but you are obsessed with whether the godless will be judged. Don't worry, judgment and justice will be upheld. But watch out, or you may be seduced by wealth. Don't let yourself be bribed into sin. Could all your wealth or all your mighty efforts keep you from distress? Do not long for the cover of night, for that is when people will be destroyed. Be on guard. Turn back from evil, for God sent His suffering to keep you from a life of evil. Elihu reminds Job of God's power, Job 36:22 through 37:24. Look, God is all-powerful. Who is a teacher like Him? No one can tell Him what to do or say to Him, "You have done wrong." Instead, glorify His mighty works, singing songs of praise. Everyone has seen these things, though only from a distance. Look, God is greater than we can understand. His years cannot be counted. He draws up the water vapor and distills it into rain. The rain pours down from the clouds, and everyone benefits. Who can understand the spreading of the clouds and thunder that rolls from heaven? See how he spreads the lightning around him and how it lights up the depths of the sea? By these mighty acts he nourishes the people, giving them food in abundance. He fills his hands with lightning bolts and hurls each at its target. The thunder announces its presence. The storm announces his indignant anger. My heart pounds as I think of this. It trembles within me. Listen carefully to the thunder of God's voice as it rolls from his mouth. It rolls across the heavens, and his lightning flashes in every direction. Then comes the roaring of the thunder, the tremendous voice of his majesty. He does not restrain it when he speaks. God's voice is glorious in the thunder. We can't even imagine the greatness of his power. He directs the snow to fall on the earth and tells the rain to pour down. Then everyone stops working so that they can watch his power. The wild animals take cover and stay inside their dens. The stormy wind comes from its chamber, and the driving winds bring the cold. God's breath sends the ice, freezing wide expanses of water. He loads the clouds with moisture, and they flash with his lightning. The clouds churn with the clouds the, the clouds you're turning my page too soon, baby. The clouds churn at his direction. They do whatever he commands throughout the earth. He makes these things happen either to punish people or to show his unfailing love. Pay attention to this, Job. Stop and consider the wonderful miracles of God. Do you know how God controls the storm and causes the lightning to flash from his clouds? Do you understand how he moves the clouds and with wonderful perfection and skill? When you are sweltering in your clothes and the south wind dies down and everything is still, he makes the skies reflect the heat like a bronze mirror. Can you do that? So teach the rest of us what to say, Job. We are too ignorant to make our own arguments. Should God be notified that I want to speak? Can people even speak when they are confused? We cannot look at the sun, for it shines brightly in the sky. When the wind clears away the clouds, so also golden splendor comes from the mountain of God. He is clothed in dazzling splendor. We cannot imagine the power of the Almighty, but even though he is just and righteous, he does not destroy us. No wonder people everywhere fear him. All who are wise show him reverence. Maybe you should show me a little reverence. Okay, I think I have time to read this. I didn't think I would, but I do. Read a couple pages anyway. All right, we are on page 156, titled, Look at This, Not That. The people of God, the Israelites, had been through it all. God had established them out of Jacob, renamed Israel, the man who wrestled with God. Jacob had 12 sons, each of whom became the forefather of his own tribe. The family of Jacob grew in Egypt until it became so large that the people posed a threat to Pharaoh, and much conflict ensued. God appointed Moses to lead them out of slavery until the land he'd promised to their forefather Abraham. That exodus became a 40-year journey into the wilderness. Moses died, and his predecessor Joshua led them over the Jordan River and into the Promised Land. For several hundred years, the people lived under the rule of their priests and judges. The Israelites were constantly under threat, despite being God's chosen people. The nations surrounding them were intimidating and warlike, and their own sinful behavior made them vulnerable. Samuel, a well-respected prophet and priest, comes on the scene in this season. But before we recall what he did, it's important to remember one important fact about Samuel. He listened to God. Samuel's mother, Hannah, longed for a child. She made a vow that if God would give her a son, she would give him back in service to God. After Samuel was weaned, he was sent to the temple to learn how to serve God and his people. Samuel grew up in the temple during a season when Israel's leaders failed to honor the Lord, instead of using the position of leadership for their own gain. Samuel, however, relentlessly listened to God. He listened when he was just a boy and heard the audible voice of God calling him in the night in 1 Samuel 3. And he listened when God told him to give the Israelites the king they were asking for, even though they wanted a king for the wrong reasons. 1 Samuel 8, 6-9 and 19-22 says, When Samuel heard their demand, give us a king to rule us, he was crushed. How awful, Samuel prayed to God. God answered Samuel, Go ahead and do what they're asking. They are not rejecting you, they're rejecting me as their king. From the day I brought them out of Egypt until this very day, they've been behaving like this, leaving me for other gods, and now they're doing it to you. So let them have their own way. But warn them of what they're in for. Tell them the way kings operate. Just what they're likely to get from a king. But the people wouldn't listen to Samuel. No, they said, we will have a king to rule us. Then we'll be just like all the other nations. Our king will rule us and lead us to fight our battles. Samuel took in what they said and rehearsed it with God. God told Samuel, do what they say, make them a king. Shortly after that, Samuel listened when God selected Saul, a handsome guy who seemed unlikely to lead well, to be king of Israel in 1 Samuel 9. The word tells us that Saul was good looking and a head taller than most people, but history tells us how unlikely he was as a choice. He came from the smallest, most insignificant tribe of Israel, and he was looking for lost donkeys, not power and glory, when God pointed him out to Samuel. Saul's humble beginnings didn't keep him from a prideful end. Samuel listened to God again when he had to tell Saul he would be replaced by a man after God's own heart, 1 Samuel 13. Saul had a bad habit of doing what God asked him to do, but improvising when and how it suited him. It was after one of those times that Samuel declared, you have done a foolish thing. You have not kept the command of the Lord that the Lord your God gave you. If you had, he would have established your kingdom over Israel for a time. But now your kingdom will not endure. The Lord has sought out a man after his own heart and appointed him ruler of his people, because you have not kept the Lord's command. 1 Samuel 13:14. We'll jump in there tomorrow. Aw, poor Gary. He went in. Just another day. He has no idea what's coming for him, little wee kitty balls. Poor Gary. Does it make you feel bad? They go in just normal and then they're like, what the heck? They just dropped me off. The next thing I know, they're chopping me off. Poor little Gary. Poor little Gary. All right, friends. All right, let's go ahead and pray. God our Father, thank you for this day. Thank you for our time together. Thank you for these women and bringing us all together to worship you through the reading of your word. God, I just pray for each and every woman here and the many struggles they are going through. I pray for our country right now, and you know exactly, you know all the details there. And God, I just ask for wisdom and clarity for the leaders of this country, and just and for us as Christians and how we treat each other. God, as we go through this day, help us to honor you with everything we say and do. In your precious holy name, amen. All right, sweets. I love you all. I hope you have a fabulous day. I got to take Winnie to get poked and prodded. Yes, she loves the she really enjoys the butt poke to see if she has wormies. She enjoys that. She has to go be violated. Okay. And then she'll be vaccinated to a point where I'll be able to take her for walks once the roads aren't covered in ice. So, yay. All right, girls, I love you so much. I hope you have a fabulous Thursday, and I'll see you all back bright and early for devotions tomorrow. Have a great day.